Monday morning. I was like scrambling. I couldn't get the chats to come up. So I just quickly said hello to as many people as I could. So if I missed you, I'm so sorry. But hello to everybody. Happy first day of fall. So today's coffee time is going to be all about comfy, cozy, pretending, if you need to pretend like some of us, that it's crisp and cool, leaves crunching under our feet weather, snuggling up with your blanket or having a big sweater. Okay, it's like full disclosure, I have this fall type of a little cardigan type little sweater on, but I was dripping sweat. So I was like, I can't do that. So I am thinking of you. I want us to be comfy and cozy today. So if you don't already have your coffee, go grab some, or tea, or whatever beverage you prefer. Snuggle up, get comfy. If you're on your laptop, go snuggle up in a chair somewhere. I just want today to be all about love and hugs and coffee time and first day of fall. So it's official. So even though I've been kind of preparing for it prematurely, now we can say it's officially fall. So it's officially fall. So yay. So I'm ready for fall weather. I'm ready for the temperatures to drop a little bit. I'm ready to see all those gorgeous leaves changing colors, and I just absolutely, this is by far the favorite time of year for all of the crisp and the walks and the leaves crunching and the cool breezes and the leaving the windows open, and hopefully we'll get some real crisp weather. Anyway, so good morning, Mark. You popped in here real fast. So again, if I missed you, I am so sorry. I pushed a button and I couldn't remember how I would make the chat come up, because I can see you over to my right. I can see when you pop up. Kim Sokolsky, I don't know if I said good morning to you. I saw you and Tracy toward the last second, so I thought I threw you in, but if I did not, then good morning to everybody. So happy fall. So are you all got your beverage, you got your coffee, you got your hot cocoa, you got your tea, got your Diet Coke? I don't have mine yet, but it's coming, my friends. I do have my coffee today. I have the same little the disposable cups. These are beautiful. So these are fun. We have these by the coffee pot. I already have the set for actual Halloween, and then of course, more fall ones for Thanksgiving. They're just fun to kind of have by the coffee pot to kind of grab and go. Which there's been a lot of grabbing and going lately, a lot of travel, a lot of back and forth. Kind of tired, kind of exhausted with all of that, but some really, really some fun stuff happened this week. So I'm super excited. I got some more stuff coming up. So I'm going to share all that with you. So let's see if I missed anybody else. Oh, I don't think I did. I think I got Allison. Oh, wait, Luis, did I get you? I don't know. Laura, I did not get you. Amy, oh my gosh, I missed a lot of you. I'm so sorry. I love you. Everybody that I missed, good morning, September 22nd. And something else special about this day. Mark, I said good morning to you. Yeah, anybody else? Okay, Jane says she's ready. Okay, ready. Jane is ready. That means we can all get ready to go. All right, we're going to start our brewing topics because there's lots of fun, fall, snuggly, comfy, cozy, huggy stuff to talk about today. So here we go. All right, so our brewing topics today is happy birthday to my mom. Today is actually her birthday, so that's one of our topics. Enjoy the change of the seasons. And on that note, Pam just said, I'm ready for the cooler air here in Florida. Me too. Doesn't quite get as cool as I want, to be quite honest. Melody says that here in Kentucky, leaves are changing color and falling. The skies are crying happy drops and my heater is on. Melody, may I come visit you? May I come hang out with you? Let's just plan a little little girls trip. We'll just kind of hang out. I would love that. That would be awesome. Anyway, so yes. Kim says she's ready to put the pool heater on. Oh, you already put your pool heater on. Wow. Okay. Jim says good morning. Yeah. So if anybody joined in here at the last minute, we are having a wonderful fall, comfy, cozy day today. So again, go. It's okay. I'll give you a couple seconds. I'll just yak for a little bit. Just go reheat whatever is in your coffee pot. Go nuke it for 30 seconds and then you can come back and join us, and we're going to have some fun coffee time. So yeah, so while you're doing that, today is September 22nd. It is the first day of fall, but it also happens to be my mom's birthday. So I got to have a quick little, I don't ever get to see her and my family long enough for our visits. It's kind of a quick one. I could sit and we could just talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. And sometimes we do. But we got to visit, and there was a big dinner celebration. My younger sister, Jennifer, as usual, went cuckoo crazy with an amazing meal. She made some baked ziti, and I mean, hors d'oeuvres alone was enough to fill everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean the entire house was full with all of us. I mean, my older sister wasn't able to come. She hurt her knee, so she's kind of needs to stay still for a little bit. And one of my nieces was working, but everybody else was there, and it's kind of amazing. I don't have I don't have any of that family in Florida that can congregate like that. It's all in Virginia. So a quick trip and an outing to go visit mom and help celebrate. So yay to my mom. So happy birthday to my mom. And it was nice. It's really funny because when we get older, and I say we because this includes me, if there's something I want or I need, I typically just buy it for myself, right? If I need some new boots, I'll go buy some new boots. If I want a new necklace, I'll just go buy a new necklace. By the way, I bought this a few weeks ago. This is another one that kind of helps me feel like Eric's always with me. I added the little heart charm, the cross, and then the leaf. So this is from Brighton. I think I might need 2 more charms here. I don't know. I can't do it. I could not be the weather person. Anyway, but we're kind of at that age where if there's something you want, if there's something you need, it's not like when you were a kid and you would start saving either your money or you would kind of keep a running list going of the things that you could use, so that when your parents asked you what you wanted for Christmas, you were able to say, I want a pair of boots. I want a pair of tan boots or whatever. And, you'd wait and you wait and you wait and you wait, and then finally Christmas would come and you'd get a pair of boots. When you're older, you kind of take care of that yourself. You just kind of get what it is that you need, for the most of us, I guess. And for most items, I'm sure there's things that we wait and put on our wish list. But, for my mom, so she doesn't need anything else in her house. She doesn't need any more, decor things. But she does have a living room and a piano that is just covered with pictures of family. And it just gets, we need more space. I was just saying, I think we need to maybe put some either bookshelves on either side of that piano now, or create a gallery wall. But so I ended up giving her, finally, it took a while. We had a tradition in our family. And I mean, I guess it started with just my grandmother's and maybe even my great grandmother's generation, that they would get the portrait taken and then they would have the artist do the actual oil hand over top of it. Well, now there's apps for that and it can kind of give you that simulated look. But this was the art. This was the skill at the time. They were very expensive, but everyone got their child's 1 year portrait done. And so there's the picture of my mom. She was an only child. And then my mom had done that for each of us. So there's the same portrait for myself, my brother, my 2 sisters. And then we all continued that tradition as well. So my brother with his 2 kids, they have portraits of their kids. My older sister has her 4 kids. And then I have my 4 kids. In fact, they're safely bubble wrapped under that little love seat back behind me, trying to keep them out of the way so that they don't get messed up until I have the perfect spot to hang them again. But anyway, so obviously that tradition is kind of gone. I sort of did that with my kids for, just to keep it that way. But for my mom, I got her little 5x7s, and I did that of Elsie and Elizabeth. And what's really sweet is the one that Elsie's 1 year portrait, she's wearing the same dress. And we're talking the dresses. If you're anywhere near my age, you probably remember when I talk about the laces with the eyelet, the dresses with the eyelet lace, just the ribbon that's embroidered through it, just the little bloomers that are underneath it that also have little lace, the whole just absolutely gorgeous dress. And Alyssa had that for hers. We bought it for Allie. And then Elizabeth wore the same dress, and then Elsie got to wear the same dress. So anyway, so that was my present to my mom. I got those fixed, printed, and framed, and gave them to her. And of course, now they are proudly displayed in her living room on her piano. So anyway, so that was kind of fun. So I'm happy that we got to have some fun. And my mom has this beautiful porch in the back, where after dinner everybody just kind of sits and rocks and talks, and they'll have some wine or they'll have some tea or they'll have whatever it is, and just chatting. And it was funny, there was a few moments where all of this conversation is going, there's multiple conversations going, and my mom, I just looked at her, I was sitting beside her, and she's just sitting there kind of soaking it all in. So like, what a gift, right, to see all your kids and, well, almost everybody, there, and just kind of sitting, and what a kind of testament to her big old productive 86 years to have all of that kind of happening right in front of her. So I hope she has a wonderful birthday today. Actually celebrating again today, because of course my sister left up the decorations, and she left to set aside a few presents so that my mom could celebrate that today on her actual birthday, while the rest of us had to get back to work, unfortunately. So, well, fortunately, because I love seeing you. But anyway, so that is my first topic, talking about my mom and her birthday. So I know I see all of you guys popping over here. You guys are very sweet. I will pass on the info to my mom. I know my younger sister will watch sometimes, so I'll tell her to go in and show mom some of these comments. But yeah, it was definitely a special day. Really enjoyed that quick visit. And as always, every time we leave, we're like, it's not enough time. We could sit and talk and talk and talk. But anyway, all right, let's move on to the second brewing topic, which was, I don't even remember. Hold on. I think it's my favorite one. Yes, it is. All right. So this is where, if you have not already, go ahead and get yourself cuddled up. Take a list. If you have a notepad, take some notes, or come back and rewatch this. But this is about just the fall season, because I'm very obsessed with it. If you live in Florida, you are just so anxious for a reprieve of the heat and humidity. So when we feel like we get a little bit of it, it's just, I'm really kind of immersing myself in the atmosphere and the imagery of fall. So you're going to do that with me today. So some cozy at home fall snuggle up ideas. This is not real estate related, but you know what? You could do this in your house. So there, I connected it. One of them is, and I was thinking about this, honestly, this stemmed from my visit with my mom. And I was, again, looking at everybody on the porch, and I'm like, there were, my niece's two children were there, but they were the only little ones there. So it was mostly adults that were there. And I was like, times have changed. I remember when we would gather for holidays or for celebrations, and you'd have so many little kids, my own included, that are just kind of running around, and it's chaos all the time. But it's a different vibe when it's adults. It was different. So it really got me thinking. Obviously, I love kids. My whole life is all about kids and the grandkids, and I'm going to focus on little kid activities. But I did think about, when you're with adults, whether it's your family or whether it's just some friends or coworkers or whatever it is, if you try to get some ideas for you and some of your adult friends, here's a few that we thought up. So one of them is host a chili or a soup night. You guys can you can have everyone bring a different chili, like a little chili cook-off, or you can have people bring different soups and do like a different kind of a soup bar. All sorts of things. Or you could just do your own big crock pot of chili or soup and serve it and have some fun. My specific one that I absolutely love is taco chili. Very, very, very simple recipe in a crock pot. It is, I think, 5 ingredients. Ground beef, taco seasoning, kidney beans, some diced tomatoes, and corn, I think is what it is. I'll have to go back and think about it. But anyway, it's absolutely delicious. And of course, you put your toppings on it later on. But so that's a fun thing to do, right? Have everybody come over, have a little chili night, or a little, everyone brings a sample, or you just host everybody. The other one is a fall movie marathon. Now, this one stems specifically from my brother's comments. He was talking about, as we get older, sometimes it's harder. I relate, so relate. To being able to stay awake through a movie at a movie theater. And it's kind of like, for me, first of all, I haven't been to a movie theater. I think the last time I went is when me and the girls went to see the Barbie movie. And then before that, it had been a long time. But I have noticed that if I go to the movie theater and I get snuggled in and I have my popcorn and I have my soda and I'm just kind of sitting there and I realize, okay, well, I can't work right now. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor's office and you're kind of forced to sit there and just wait. I always start yawning. Well, as soon as I start yawning, then I'm going to probably fall asleep. Anyway, so my brother was talking about how he really wants to watch all of the Harry Potter kind of like as a marathon, like a back to back to back to back to back. And his wife was joking, well, you won't be able to stay awake for that. And so we just kind of were chuckling about that. I was like, well, you could do a 3-day weekend with that. I mean, it would be a little exhausting to watch all of those movies in one sitting, but you could do that over a 3-day weekend and really make a fun thing out of it. So anyway, so you could do a little movie marathon or just a movie, just a little fun snuggle up movie. Hocus Pocus, that's everybody's big fave. When Harry Met Sally, if you haven't watched it lately, go back and watch it. It's a great movie for the fall with the sweaters and the weather and how the whole setting of the movie is in the fall. So that's a good one. Harry Potter, which we talked about, or something spooky. Mine would probably be this time of year, if I'm doing it alone by myself, which I would be most likely. I would probably do Eat, Pray, Love. That's one of my favorites. It's a long movie. It's a couple hours long. And it's really good. So that's a good one that kind of, I've watched it a gazillion times. So that's one of my favorites. That's probably what I would watch. If you can have people over, a pumpkin carving or a painting party, I've never done either. I mean, I've done the pumpkin carving, but not as a party. Just did that with my kids, but that would be kind of fun. Pair it with a themed cocktail maybe, or some wine. And it was funny because as I was coming to visit, my sister went to Trader Joe's, and I guess she had remembered me saying the story about how I don't drink. I'm not really a drinker. I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to cocktails or drinks or alcohol in any way. But when we first moved to Florida, true story, our first house, there was a playground. The community playground was right beside our house. And it was a great place where we all kind of congregated and hung out. And one of my neighbors that was on the other side of the playground, she walked over because she knew I didn't like wine really. She walked over with a peach Moscato from Trader Joe's, and she says, try this. So I tried it, and there it is, that bottom right-hand corner picture. That is exactly what she got me, and that is my absolute favorite. I don't get it often because I don't go to Trader Joe's very often, but my sister did. So if you're looking for something, it's very sweet. So if you really like wine, it's a dessert wine, so it's very sweet. But I like that, and I can drink that, and so I thank my sister for thinking of me and getting a bottle of that. Fall themed game night. This is a fun one, right? We are a very big board game family. Haven't played in a while, except for Monopoly, when I say I won, but Hong still says he won. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. But fall-themed game night would be fun. You can do trivia, charades, or a murder mystery since we're into the fall/spooky season. Do something like that. That would be super fun. Mine is, there's 2 pictures at the bottom. One of them is this one right here. I'm sorry, I have to bend down and pick it up because it's legitimately, we have it, which is Mansions of Madness. So this game is so fun. And it's a big box. It's a pretty big box. But this is a really fun one. So it's kind of got a spooky vibe to it. And then there's another one called Last Friday, which is kind of a game like Friday the 13th, where Jason's trying to kind of track you down. So that's kind of a fun one too. And then the my favorite. My I can say it. Mansions of Madness. There we go. I haven't had any of the Moscato this morning, I promise. Mansions of Madness is my pick for that, or Last Friday. Fall baking treats. If you want to have people come over and have a little baking party, that'd be kind of fun to do. Apple pies, maple pecan bars, or cider donuts. Mine would be pumpkin bread. Big fan of pumpkin bread, and yes, I put nuts on my pumpkin bread. And the last one is some books and blankets. A lot of us are, you've got maybe some time at home. You work. You're busy, you're talking to people all day, and then you come home at night, and then it's just you, right? And then you're like, well, I don't have all my friends over every night. I don't have other people in the house. So sometimes you just want to take some time and do something fun for yourself. So go get a new comfy, cozy blanket, or find your favorite one, and a book. There's a few that are really good. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. That one, I had to make little notes. That's a little fantasy about kind of coffee and community. So that kind of tracks with our little coffee time segment. The other one that's a good option is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. That one is a suspense. So if you're interested in suspense type novels, that's a good one. The other one is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. That one I had to write my notes here. The Guest List is it's a closed mystery room with lots of tension, and it's a really great one for the fall. My personal pick, funny enough, legitimately, is How to Sell a Haunted House. Very, very, very apropos as a realtor. It's not why I bought the name of it, but it's just kind of funny. So How to Sell a Haunted House. You see the little picture at the bottom, but here's the actual book here that I am still in the middle of reading. I haven't gotten too far into it yet. I just got it a few days ago, thought I would have it. Literally, I was like, well, in case I have a little downtime, traveling and whatever. And even then I didn't have the downtime, but I will finish it and we can talk about that if you want. Anyway, so there are a few ideas if you would like to be comfy, cozy, snuggle up, pretend like it's crisp fall changing in the leaves. If you live where you are lucky enough to get that, to have the leaves falling, when the leaves fall down and they get stuck under your windshield wiper or in the part of your car and you drive off and they kind of fly away, or when you're trying to get the one that is truly wedged under the windshield wiper and you got your windshield wiper slishing back and forth and it still doesn't go. Just remember that not everyone has that luxury. Some of us are still waiting for it to dip below 85. So there you go. Anyway, so let's see anybody's here. Elizabeth at Melody. It's a recipe where you'll eat the whole crock pot's worth in one sitting. I'd eat it all by myself in college. So yeah, I must have missed that. Oh yes, Melody. Now I'll have to figure out how to make crock pot chili so here's the thing. You can do it. When I make it, I double the recipe anyway. But it's really good and it freezes really well. So, trust me, Melody, you can make a batch of it. You can have a couple bowls of it yourself, keep it fresh, and then divide it, put the other part in the freezer, and then, bring it back out a couple weeks later. You'll love it. It's good. Here's the tip though with the taco chili. Remember, it's 5 ingredients. Let's see if I can remember again, because I wasn't prepared for this part of it. It's definitely the ground beef, definitely the taco seasoning, a can of I do petite diced tomatoes because we don't like big tomato chunks in our family, so I do petite diced tomatoes with the seasoning. Kidney beans, red kidney beans, and then corn. So those are your 5 ingredients. Now, if you want to add other stuff, you can. Sometimes if we're making it, I know Hong's coming, we'll put a little bit of like hot sauce in there. So you can dress it up from there, but those are the 5 core ingredients. And you obviously just let it simmer. I mean, once you've done the ground beef and you let everything heat through, it's essentially done. So for a crock pot, it's great. You can just put it on low, have it there all day, and it's great. Or you can just heat it up for an hour and it's also ready to eat. But when I have chili, I like the Fritos scoops, the big giant Fritos scoops. Eric used to like the Tostitos. And some of the family likes the Tostitos, the regular little triangular shaped one. And then some of them like the Tostito scoop. So point is, if you're going to do taco chili, if you're going to have that fun night with everybody, excuse me, make sure you have sour cream, make sure you have, cheese for the top, make sure you have a little thing of hot sauce in case somebody wants to give it a little kick, because it's not spicy. I can't do spicy. So there's no kick to it at all. You can definitely make it hot if you want to. And then, get a whole array of chips to dip it with. By the way, my sister found at Trader Joe's, I believe it was Trader Joe's, she found tortilla chips that are colored and shaped like leaves. So now I have to find a Trader Joe's because I have to go back and find myself those tortilla chips because they were amazing and they were shaped like leaves. So that's perfect. And then of course, maybe another bottle of the Moscato because I forgot how much I liked it. Anyway, okay, so if you like that taco chili, just let me know. I'll give you some more info on it. Okay. Anyway, all right. Susan made it. Good morning, Susan. You're late, but you made it. Well, we're happy that you made it. I need to see you, please. Okay. All right, let's move on then to our third brewing topic. The third one it is actually real estate related. So thank you all for bearing with me as we just talked about life and stuff that wasn't really real estate related, but now we have some real estate topics. So this is the pros and cons of open houses. So open houses, if you have your home on the market, you as the seller and the owner, you may or may not want an open house. And I fully support both viewpoints on this one. I have done a gazillion trillion open houses. I will do open houses. I have yet to have them actually work to actually sell the property, which is one of the cons that we'll talk about here in a minute. An open house does have some benefits for sure, and that doesn't mean that it's not going to be a beneficial thing to do. It's just that you have to decide for yourself whether or not it's something that in your lifestyle, in your work schedule, in your area, in the market, in your area at that time, whether or not it would be conducive to holding an open house, whether or not, your agent feels like it would be a productive use of time, or if you could do something else. And like I said, I fully support both decisions. I could talk all day about the benefits of an open house, and I can talk all day about the cons of an open house. And I can give you example after example for both. If it were my house, well, that's my house. I could do the open house. So that's a little different. So we won't talk about that. But let's go over some pros. If you're doing an open house, some of the benefits of having an open house is it increases the visibility. You advertise it on the MLS. When you advertise it on the MLS, then homes.com, realtor.com, Zillow, they all pick up that an open house is going to be held. So that gives you a little bit more exposure. The day of the open house, obviously you've got more people coming in, and then you've got neighbors that that are probably going to be walking through as well, which is another one of the things that we'll talk about. So increased visibility, you get it out there a little bit, signage and everything. So low pressure for buyers. This is a big one. There are a lot of buyers, specifically in this market, that don't want to feel committed to anyone, meaning a buyer agent, or to anything actually contracting or putting an offer on a home. So people just out and about randomly going to open houses as though they would go to garage sales back in the day, just kind of hopping and hopping and hopping. Some people do it for entertainment. They just want to see. They're just like, well, let's go see some other people's houses. They're looky-loos is what I call them. But it's low pressure if it is someone who is actually interested in potentially purchasing something. They can go out on their own and just feel like there's not a lot of pressure, that they can just kind of go at their leisure on their own, because if they like it, then they can take the next step potentially, and get a realtor involved. By the way, if you ever do go to an open house, you yourself always mention that you are working with a realtor, unless you are open to working with a realtor hosting the open house. That's okay too, but just make sure that you know that if you sign a form, just make sure that you ask all the right questions. And again, the person hosting the open house could be a great agent for you. Not saying that that's not the case, but just make sure you think before you speak or commit. Market testing. This is probably one of the best pros of having an open house. Having people come in and getting their feedback. What are they saying about the house? Is there a common theme where it's like, man, I really like the house, but I hate the backyard or what it backs up to? Or I absolutely love that backyard. It's truly amazing, but I just don't like that there's not another full bath on the first floor because I really kind of need that. Or honestly, the house really smells. The house needs to be painted. The home is in poor condition. They really need to do some touch-ups and some maintenance. There's some evidence of leak stains on the ceiling. So when you get that feedback, that is really helpful. Even to the seller, even if it's negative feedback and you don't want to buy the house, that feedback being given to that listing agent is going to help them advise their sellers as to any adjustments that may need to be made. And conversely, if all the feedback is nothing but positive and you're still not selling, that also is an indication the market just doesn't have the buyer out there at the moment, or maybe we're just overpriced a little bit. Maybe we need to find another way to make these people that love the house actually want to buy it. So that's probably one of the best things, is to kind of get some of that feedback, hear what people are saying. It is convenient for the sellers. And I say this, it can also be inconvenient for the sellers. But if you are in a really busy time in the market and you are getting, you're getting a message from your agent, hey, we have a showing request for today at 5:30. Hey, we have a showing request for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Hey, we have a showing request tomorrow at 12 at noon. Hey, we have a showing request for tomorrow at 6:30. That can be really crazy for a family, especially if there's more people involved in getting out of the house and getting the house prepped and ready. So sometimes having an open house, saying, we're going to have an open house this weekend. We're going to do it on Saturday and Sunday, both days. We're going to do it from 11 to 2. And then that way, anybody that was interested in seeing the home over the week, hopefully they can come one of those days over the weekend. So it kind of consolidates the potential showings and foot traffic. So it inconveniences you, yes, but you can go, I'm going to go to Disney that day. I'm just, that weekend, we're just going to make it a staycation. We're just going to go to Disney, and, we're going to go to Magic Kingdom on Saturday, and we're going to go to Epcot on Sunday. And then that way you can be out of the house. You can have made the plans, and you don't have to be stressed about, oh gosh, they're going to be here in 5 minutes, and you hop up and scooch out of the house. So that's a real thing. Word of mouth opportunity. So if somebody comes into your house, and again, when we get into the cons, you'll see, somebody may be coming in and maybe it's not for them. Maybe they like it for someone else that they know. Maybe they're like, oh my gosh, you know what, this house would be perfect for so and so, and then they mention it. So there's a chance that the word of mouth, somebody could tell somebody about the house, and having been in it gives them a little bit more firsthand knowledge of it. So that could happen. So that's a positive. Highlighting features. So the things that we talk about in video form, or the things that we talk about and highlight in the description and the listing itself, can now be seen or touched or just kind of expressed more definitively, and you can really see it. So you're walking through and you're like, yep, they did this custom built-in area over here. This was just done. Like with my house, we just did this beautiful built-in fireplace wall treatment. This was not here, this was not original, this was done. They added the dedicated outlet for the fireplace, built that out, moved the vent forward, and created this gorgeous, really tall entertainment area with a TV over the fireplace with the built-ins and cabinets. So you can really have a moment to highlight that, as opposed to just walking through the home and passing through it, because you'll see it, but having that conversation or that information about it a little bit more specifically, can potentially generate a little bit more interest. And then it also can encourage competition. So, we're not in a market, candidly, where there's a lot going on. But there have been times where we have had open houses and you've got multiple people in the house at the same time. And that type of activity in that market can be a really good thing, because if somebody's coming in the house and they like it and they step outside and they're talking about it and they see 3 or 4 other families in there at the same time, all wide-eyed and excited and talking positively about the house, speaking to the agent hosting the open house, it can drive a little bit more competition, and it may get someone to maybe think about moving forward a little bit faster. So there are definitely some benefits to having an open house. However, there are also some cons. There's also some things that are there's some the things that are also a little bit more, I guess, concerning, and it may give you pause as to whether or not you want to have one in your home. Now, remember, if your home is vacant, if you've got a home over there and it's vacant, well, then a lot of these won't really matter because it's vacant. It's not interrupting your life. But the cons are, if you have an open house, sometimes they're not always serious buyers. It's neighbors. It's somebody that's just walking by and they see an open house sign, so they want to walk in. They're not really thinking about moving. They're not really prepared to move. Maybe they're just curious. Maybe they're nosy. Maybe they're just what we call a looky-loo. They're just out there looking. So that person that just happens to be walking their dog with their spouse or their child may just decide to pop into the open house, but they're not really looking to buy. They're not pre-approved. So they've now come in and they've been in your personal space, but they don't really have any intention or have not made any forward motion to actually indicate that they really want to buy something. So that's a little bit, in my opinion, that's a little invasive, even if the home is vacant, but most definitely if it is a homeowner occupied home with all of your belongings. There's a low conversion rate. And I said this in the very beginning. Very rare do you have someone that attends the open house that actually ends up purchasing it. It does happen, and it has happened to me. But when you think about the data, the number of open houses, the number of people that pass through an open house, how many of the people that pass through a specific open house end up purchasing it? And that is a very, very low conversion rate. Very few. But again, it does happen. So I'm not saying don't have the open house because of that. I'm just saying it's not likely. It's basically you're doing the open house for all those other reasons up in the pro column. And certainly we're going to try to get somebody to come in and buy it. But the conversion rate is lower than you might expect. It's also weather dependent. Oh my gosh, the number of times that we have in Florida, are you kidding me, where it's like sunny all the time except in summer in the late afternoon where it rains all the time, but you plan your open houses around that. Like if you live in Florida, well, you just don't do open houses starting at this time. But yeah, like the days where you're like, oh, I'm going to have this beautiful open house. And then you wake up and it's just raining and the rain comes out of nowhere. And then you sit there twiddling your thumbs because nobody's coming out and about because the weather's just too bad. So, so that's kind of a bummer. Inconvenient to neighbors. Yeah. We think about ourselves, but I tend to be very, very thoughtful as to what it would do to other people. The inconvenience to other people. You have a big open house. Now you've got all these signs out in front of your house and you've got people parking up and down and they're parking in front of your house. And it's happened before where the neighbor was having a celebration of their own for their family. And the open house was also happening and it was just kind of chaos. So it was not the greatest. The neighbor got a little snippy. Understandably. And so, sometimes we have to be aware of that. And if you have good neighbors, then sometimes it's just, hey, we're going to have an open house this weekend. I just want to make sure, is that okay? Like, do you have anything going on? I want to be considerate to, to your peace and quiet and your weekend. Because, remember, love your neighbor, love one another, please. So think about them at least. Overexposure. Now you might go, what does that mean? So if you have consistent open houses at the same property over and over and over and over again, then it becomes a problem where people are starting to take notice, and now they're wary. They're like, why is that house not selling? They're having open houses all the time. They won't pay as much attention until you bring attention to it, right? If you've got signs out front that just says for sale, no one's really paying much attention to it after they see it for the first time. But if you have open house, and then you have another open house, and then you have another open house, and then you have another open house, at some point people are going to go, are you kidding me? Like, how many open houses are you going to have? And what is wrong with your house? Like, why is it not selling? So it can actually be a negative if you do too many, in my experience. Again, this is just me, just my experience and my opinion, so don't get all mad at me. It may attract unqualified buyers. So kind of goes back to the, to the top one there, is that, you may get people that are looking at your house that can't actually afford your house, even if they are actually ready to move forward on something. Maybe it's just out of their price range. And so again, it's kind of a waste of time and it's frustration. Again, if it's homeowner occupied and they're wandering through your house and they can't actually afford to buy it, that's one of the biggest reasons that people don't want to have an open house. And then of course, the other one is unpredictable results. I have had open houses where it has been like a party was going on. I mean, it was a true open house where you're like, this is fantastic. People are in and out of this like all day. We've even done, if those of you that have been with us for a long time, you might even remember we would do some open houses live before, and Eric would be there, and he'd be live streaming it, and we'd be talking, and then we'd have somebody come in, and that was great, kind of exposure too. It kind of would take you along for the ride to be at the open house with us virtually. And so some of them were super duper busy. And then we have literally had open houses where not one person comes in, despite the advertising, despite, doing other things, trying to, make more, even like community open houses where you try to get multiple listings in the community to host open houses at the same time to maximize the exposure, to maximize the foot traffic. You can still end up with, with just nobody being interested. So, you do giveaways. We've had other situations where we've done, this is a while back. We did one where there was a giveaway. It was like a $50 Visa gift card or something. And still nobody came. So nobody came. So the gift card that I bought to give away, I just kept it. I went and bought myself something. No, I don't remember what I did with it, but you can, the best plans, sometimes don't produce the results that we are wanting or we're hoping, but at least we tried. So that's the way I say it. So give me your opinions on open houses. So again, I love to go back and kind of walk through and talk through these comments later on, even if I can't see all of them right now. Because as a person, and remember, I can fight all day for, heck yeah, we're doing open houses. This is fantastic. We definitely want to do open houses. And then I can fight all day for, I just don't think it's going to be a great idea, because I truly believe in both ways. It's going to be dependent on what you as the homeowner thinks, wants, wishes, what you can accommodate and what you can't. So let's go through some of your comments here. Okay. You guys are so cute. Guys, can I just tell you how much I love you? I just love you. Okay, so hold on. So Tracy, I love you guys. Tracy just looked up how to sell a haunted house on Amazon, and the Kindle version is on sale for $1.99. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, I have the actual book. By the way, I was so upset. I went and bought several books at Barnes & Noble because I was really, really getting into the vibe of just wanting to be cozy. I think I'm getting a little bit more anxious about being alone as the holiday season approaches. So I'm trying to find some new friends in the evening and find something to do to keep my mind going and to, just to kind of snuggle up with something. So I went to Barnes & Noble and I talked to my daughter, Alyssa, who is, she's the writer. She's the author. More to come. We were talking about some books. And so I picked out three or four that I was like, well, I'll see if they have these, and this will kind of get me through, because they all seemed really good. And when I went to Barnes and Noble, the only one that they had out of my entire list was this one. And it really, I'm going to be honest with you, it upset me because I wanted to spend my money at Barnes and Noble, not online. I love Amazon. They get enough of my money, but not on Amazon. I wanted to go in and support the brick and mortar building. I wanted to support Barnes and Noble. I wanted to give them my business and my time because I finally had moments I could walk into one and they didn't have them. And they're like, oh, we could order it for you. I'm so sorry. We don't have Wayward is the other one that I wanted. It's a 3 generation. That book's right over there. But I ended up ordering it from Amazon. She's like, well, it can come in 3 to 5 days. And I said, oh, and that was actually the one I was going to read before I read the How to Sell a Haunted House. But because they didn't have it, I said, I'd just start reading that one. I was like, no, I said, honestly, 3 to 5 days. I said, I need to, I wanted it for travel to go visit, my mom. So I'll 3 to 5 days won't work for me. I'll see if I can find it elsewhere. So I did. I got it on Amazon and it came like the next day. So darn it. It's like, please, please, please support some of these businesses, but daggone it, you got to have it stocked for me. Anyway, so Tracy, good info. Anyone that's interested in how to sell a haunted house, do the Kindle version for $1.99. Melody, regarding the taco chili, has she's going to add the stuff to her shopping list this week. You guys are so cute. I absolutely adore you. And then Susan wants to confirm the recipe. I love you guys. Seriously, can we just have a getaway with just all of us, just coffee timers? We'll get t-shirts printed and mugs printed and we'll snuggle up and go on a cruise. There we go again. Let's see. Pam says, have you ever had an open house and something has gone missing? Ooh, interesting. I went to an open house once and a woman's closet had very expensive handbags and all of her jewelry out on display. Ooh, that's a really good question, Pam. So in my experience thus far, knock on wood, no, I haven't. I have been to open houses and hosted open houses where people had brought their children, and you know me, I love children. This is not a anti-children, anything, but they were not watching their children. And the children were ran over to the sofa. And these were toddlers-ish, maybe 5, 6, 7-ish, old enough to know better, but still needed to be observed and, paid attention to by parents. But they were sitting on the sofa and they were doing this on the sofa. They were just bouncing up and down. And the coffee table had some things on it. And they're picking up the things on the coffee table. And some of them were glass objects. And then the worst part, candidly, is when you go into a kid's bedroom or into a playroom where they see toys and they'll see games or a video game machine or whatever. And sometimes people don't monitor their kids well enough during an open house, and they are disruptive and they're picking up things. And those are the things that concern me. I just don't want anything to get broken. But I have not had anybody state anything. Excuse me one. No, I'm just going to let it go. That's Jason Racing. All right, hang on. Pause for just a second while I go grab my phone. I forgot to bring it over. It was charging. Hang on. You know what? Don't you hate potential spam? Don't you hate that? It was that's what it was. Potential spam. Okay. Well, thought it was important, but it was not. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to bring it over. It was out of battery. So I usually have it right in front of me. Anyway. Okay. So, but yeah, I haven't had anybody that has had anything stolen or have gone missing. I did recently have a showing. Here again. I did have a showing recently where the homeowner had a question. She said that she had noticed that I can't remember now, her closet, her purse was in there and it looked like everything was there. Nothing had been missing. She just felt like it had been touched. But, a showing, usually your agent is with you as you're walking through. So you're not left unattended. I mean, I've never just opened the door for someone and said, okay, go on, have at it. We're walking together. You're not out of my eyesight. But I have not had that happen, but you know what? I imagine that it could, and that would definitely go on the con list, is that it could be a security thing. Actually, true story. I had security, concerns on the list of cons, but I wanted to take it off because I didn't want people to get too worried about that because it's so rare. But in this world that we live in, people going through your home, looking at your home, seeing your windows, seeing your doors, seeing if you have a security system, it could be a thing if people want to come back some other time or whatever, there are security concerns with it. So, but I have not had anyone do that. And then Pam says, and people just walking around, it made me uncomfortable for the owner. I know. It, I am more a con open houser than I am a pro, but I will absolutely do it. I mean, I'm a pro, but, but you know, the reasoning to have them, the potential doesn't outweigh the potential risk. Because like I said, the conversion rate is pretty low, but sometimes we have to do something. You know, we want our sellers, we want our homeowners as the listing agent, we want them to know that we're doing stuff, even when it looks like nothing is happening. I mean, you know, we've got our live stream going and we talk about the houses and we feature the listings and we have the social media posts. And I don't know that every realtor is able to do all of that, but I do it and other people do it. And we send out blast emails and we reverse prospect and we do all of these things, but we can't create the buyer. So, so for me, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of open houses, only because I've done them enough to know that it is most often not worth the time, but I'm always open to do it because you are worth my time. So anyway, moving on from there, but yeah. So again, Susan's giving you the taco ingredient. Taco chili is ground meat, taco seasoning, diced tomatoes, red kidney beans, and corn. Oh my God. I love you guys just so stinking much. I can't stand it. Oh, and then Melody says, thank you, Susan. My shopping list has been made. I'm hitting the store after work. We're supposed to have storms all week. Perfect chilly weather. It really is. And then Kim, I know there are some people who go to open houses every week and just entertain themselves. Yes, ma'am, they do. Just like people go to like garage. Do the people have garage sales or yard sales anymore? Community yard sales. People will just go to those. That's what they do on the weekend. So you are right, Kim. And that's kind of one of the cons is like people are just out there walking through your house and they don't have any intention of buying it. If they want, in my opinion, if you want to go and just walk through houses and get design ideas, go to the model homes. Go to where you know, it's a public place and you're allowed to go and it's decorated gorgeously. It gives you some really cool ideas. Don't walk through your neighbor's house. That's kind of creepy. Let's see, hubby, since homes are taking a bit to sell, could it be an advantage or attractive to sell a tenant occupied space with a competitive rental rate? Let me see if I understand this correctly. Since homes are taking a bit to sell a tenant occupied, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I think it could, again, the buyer the buyer that is looking for a rental, whether it's an investment property or if it's something that is tenant occupied. Like I literally just had this. I have a gentleman who purchased an investment property. But he wants to move into it, but it was already tenant occupied. That lease is still going for another year. So he still bought it. That tenant still has the right to be in the home and he'll move into it eventually. But his situation was different. So, I mean, I think it depends on the buyer, but yes, I don't think that would hurt at all, especially in this market. So I think that's a good one. Amy, hi Amy, how are you? She says, yes, sometimes it could be a waste. Back in the day, I had the realtor license, and when I did an open house, people would come in and would just give. Yes, you are correct, Amy. That is so true. So what she's stating is when you go to an open house, so let's be honest, okay? Honest, true realtor inside scoop. So open houses are a great thing. I don't hate open houses, but it is a great way for a newer agent to host an open house and to, when you come in, we want to have people sign in because you want to get their name and their number or their email address, because ultimately what you're hoping to do is to acquire them as a potential client and to follow up on the house that they just toured at the open house. Hey, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate you coming by, touring the home. Do you think you have any interest, or do you have any questions? Is there anything I can, help you with? Is it something that you think you might be interested in purchasing or submitting an offer on? And if not, is there any other way I could help you? If you're looking to have a realtor help you find the perfect home, if this one isn't it, then I'm happy to assist. So what happens is you're hoping to get another client out of that. I gotta drink some water. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So yes, so that's part 2 of the open house, right? Is to get the list. Now I'm going to be honest with you. I I was in the beginning, I would do the sign-in sheet, but I also found, just like you did, Amy, that people are like, they're savvy. They're like, I'm not giving you my name and my email address and my phone number because you're salesy and you're going to call me and you're going to try to sell me on something. And I just want to walk through the open house. So you are correct, Amy. Half the time you're getting bogus information, and it's that part of it is definitely not worth it. And then Amy says, I am in. I think, are you saying you're in for like a whole coffee time get together type thing? I think we should do that. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. You're on it. So it's funny. I'm seeing your comments after we've already talked about something. I have someone in Dade County who can do the merch. Okay. So we'll get our t-shirts. All right. I'm going to be honest. I've already designed a coffee time coffee mug. Again, another true story. This was not part of coffee time, and we're already almost at 10 o'clock, but we're having such fun, comfy, cozy combo. Oh, that was a good one. Fun, comfy, well, no, I can't say it again. But anyway, I have some, when Eric was going, okay, I won't even get into the whole story. Maybe I'll save it for next week. But when Eric was having chemo, I decided I was going to go back and revisit something that I had done when we first moved to Florida before real estate happened, and try to branch off of it in another way and create a little Etsy store. And for fun, I did make a coffee time mug. So I was like, oh, it'd be fun. It'd be so fun if we did like coffee time mugs. And then I told everybody where they could go and they could get them really cheap. And then one day we could have coffee time and we could all have our coffee mugs and we could all take pictures of ourselves. And then I was like, that's stupid, Amy. Like no one wants a coffee time coffee mug, and no one's like, anyway. So then I pulled myself out of my childish fantasy, but that's great. Laura's got the merch person. Okay, so we're in. And then Elizabeth says, look at all the fall decor. Yeah, do you guys see? Look over there. Do you see Pooh Bear? Do you see the Pooh Bear pumpkin? My sister gave me that. She found that, I think, at like a Home Goods, TJ Maxx, something like that. She found that for me. And so she gave that to me when I went to visit with my mom. Because Pooh Bear is my favorite, of course. Let's see. Kim says, we don't have model homes where I came from, so that isn't an option for most nosy peepers. Well, if it's not an option, it's not an option. But if it is an option, that's a good one. All right, let's see. And then Melody says, I need a coffee time mug in my life when you are ready. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, seriously, like there's a lot of men that are here too, but you ladies are just speaking to me. So I think we need to have our own little group. Okay, we're just going to do that. Anyway, all right, let's move on. I've talked so much about stuff that is like, let's move on to the other stuff. Okay, let's get going. So I'm going to do wishes because it's a big week. All right, big week. Taylor and Jordan, they were on here before, but that was because they did their new homeowner orientation. This is their closing week as of tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow. Super excited for them. Damon and Lisa got their closing date. They're also closing next week. Chris and Tammy, Amy and Mark just got their closing date. They're actually going to be closing in November, but it is so fun. Guys, when you get new construction and you get the closing date from the builder, it is like a big old party because it has been months and months and months and months and months and months of waiting and hoping and dreaming and wanting to buy stuff and wanting to get in the house and wanting to take measurements so that you could order this. And to get the actual closing date is it's just fun. It's like a day of celebration. So yay for Amy and Mark for having a celebration day of knowing that they get to close early November. And then, of course, Trish, who just went under contract. So super excited for everyone there. All right, I'm going to do scoop because I'm going to try to speed along for some of this. Okay, so this is exciting. So again, if you are here in our area, I know so many of you are not. I know you're trying to get here. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you just want to hang out with us. You can come and hang out with us here because we have a 10th annual Southern Hill Farms Fall Festival is going to be starting this coming weekend. So it's the 10th annual Fall Festival at Southern Hill Farms. And if you've ever been there, you know it is an amazing place to go. I know Elizabeth, I think last year took Elsie. What a great fun place. And it is right here local, right here, Horizon West, down Schofield Road. It's technically in the Claremont side, Lake County side, but it is right there, guys. It is right there. If you go down the Schofield Road, Connector Road, you see it every time you go. But it is, and this is pulled from their website, folks, select Thursdays So meaning not every Thursday, but select Thursdays, but every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday starting this coming Saturday, 9/27, through the 23rd of November. So right there around Thanksgiving. Tickets are required and must be purchased online in advance for all guests 3 and older. I did look, and the tickets are just under $30. So I think it's like, I don't know, like $27 or $28. And then there's like the $2 service fee or something. So just in your brain, think it's a $30 ticket. Well worth it. You can spend the whole day there if you want to. The Fun Zone Carnival ride, the bungee jump, there's a 5-acre corn maze, there's a petting zoo, sunflower field, zinnia field, pumpkin patch, there's live music, face painting, there's a farm wagon, photo opportunities every time you turn around, the farm market, covered barns, so you got a little spot in case you need to get a little shade, rooftop deck, food trucks, just so much fun. It's a great place to make a lot of memories. And again, you don't have to have little kids just to go enjoy the face painting and the pumpkin patch. I mean, you know, as an adult, maybe you can get your face painted, but it's still a great place. It's a great date afternoon. And again, you know, where I am, if I could do things differently in my life, I would have made sure that Eric and I had more time to enjoy those types of things and to say, you know what, we're not working today. We're not working today. We're going to go and we're just going to be Amy and Eric and we're going to go have fun, or we're going to take the kids, or we're going to take the grandkids. And we just, you know, work consumed it, and you just think you have more time and you don't. So this is your reminder to make time. Okay. Anyway, that's a fun one. So yeah. Yes, Elizabeth said, love that farm so much and that they want to go again soon, for sure. I think it's a, Pam, you guys love it too. Yep, it's a good one. It's definitely a really great place to go. And the fact that it is right here in local just kind of makes it feel like we take pride in ownership. It's like, it's ours. It's our fall festival. You know, it's like our Hallmark movie fall festival. So go take some time and go be a part of it. You'll definitely have a good time there. All right, let's go to listing spotlight. All right, so the listing spotlight is, and I skipped the little intro just for the sake of time. So this listing has been on the market now for a little over 100 days. So guys, I am not exempt from everything. I do not have the magical cure. I cannot buy the house if it doesn't sell in 30 days. So we just have to wait and see what's happening. In this case, we just made a really big change based on the data. And I went back through, every 30 days ish, we kind of double check what's happening, what's the market doing, have there been any significant changes, so that we can adjust as necessary. So we made an adjustment. We were already priced really well, by the way, because it has 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. It is over 2,600 square feet. It does have a big yard and it's fenced in. We were actually priced really well. So this is, again, not an example of us not being priced well. It's about the fact that there's just the buyers that are out there. They're not being enticed to purchase it. We needed more foot traffic. So we did a price reduction. So now we are under the 450 mark. This, I think, for us is going to hopefully be huge. Because anyone that is searching with their budget parameters are going to be able to go, well, what's out there? You know, we have a lot of kids, or it's a big family, and it has a big loft upstairs. I mean, everything. There's a bedroom and a full bathroom on the first floor, as well as a powder bath in this one. So this home is fantastic. If you need a bedroom and if you need someone who can only live on the first floor, this home is great. Bedroom and a full bath on the first floor. It's not an ensuite, but it essentially can be, because the powder bath is right there that you can use for anybody else that's just wandering, visiting, you know, popping in. Anyway, so we lowered it by $10,000, so a $449,999 and a $10,000 closing cost contribution from the sellers. So that is a huge incentive. That's a $20,000 swing that we took on this one. And by the way, it at least tickled the market, as Eric would say, because we did have a showing yesterday. Which, you know, as soon as we changed it, it regenerated in the MLS and we got a showing right away. So, nice big kitchen, big backyard fenced in. Anyway, so it's a nice one. So if you've got anybody that's looking, this is not short-term rental. For those of you that see that it is in Davenport, it is not short-term rental. So if you are looking for a home, or if you know someone who is looking for a home, like your second home maybe, or your primary residence, this is great because it's still close to Disney there in Davenport. So that is our feature listing for the week. We also still have our Winter Garden one story where we had our open house over the weekend, $15,000 closing cost contribution. We have the beautiful 2-story out in the hills of Mineola. Windermere Townhome and unit. This is right across from Disney cast member parking. So it is a great location. 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 2.5 baths on this one. Both bedrooms are upstairs. We also have, again, upper left-hand corner is the Davenport that we just talked about, our featured listing for the week. Right beside it is the Winter Garden Gated Community, Lakeview Preserve. Big, beautiful home, also with a really hefty $20,000 closing cost contribution. We also have the 55 plus Four Seasons Villa that is still on the market, 10,000 closing cost contribution on that one. And then the gorgeous unit Hawksmoor townhome, Hawksmoor right in Horizon West. So some fantastic listings. Just we're doing everything we can on our end. We just need to kind of hope those interest rates drop a little bit. As we've said before, this is kind of the typically slow time anyway. So we're kind of getting double whammied here a little bit. So when people look, and I will tell you this, both you as a buyer, both you as a person who's just interested in looking at the market and wants to be critical, and you as the seller, understand that the market conditions, a home being on the market 90 days is not abnormal right now. So people that still have, sellers that still have in their mind, well, I want to move in 2 months, so I'm going to go ahead and put my home on the market now so that we can get it sold and everything. That's really wishful thinking. It's probably going to take longer than that. Everybody wants it to sell as fast as we can. Everybody does. But that's just not what the market conditions are really telling us right now. So you need to plan for that as a seller, map that out a little bit and go, okay, well, it may not sell as fast as I was thinking, so maybe I should list it sooner than I was wanting. Right? Okay. All right. Let's move on. Allie, as a great reminder, if you or someone you know might be interested in one of those homes, reach out at 407-848-8042. And then Melody, my girl, Melody, I need to I would put you on payroll if I could, but I'm going to just put you on love roll right now. As a reminder, if you can, please hit the thumbs up button. Are you looking for a job, Melody? Because you're great. Anyway, okay, so that is, so that's that part of it. Let me move on to my other ones. Word.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Equity. Okay, so I just wanted to, I was talking about equity the other day to somebody, and it was, as we were talking, I could tell by their facial expression that they didn't 100% know what equity meant. They thought they knew, but they weren't really sure. And so I figured, you know what, let's make that the word of the day, because everything we do here on Coffee Time stems from real life situations, questions, concerns, scenarios, and, wishes and wants and desires and all that stuff. Tragedies too. So equity. Equity is the difference between your home's market value, so how much the market is saying your home is worth, and how much you still owe on your mortgage. Okay? So if your home is worth $500,000, if the market, your realtor says, that the value of your home in this market is about $500,000, and you only owe $300,000 on your mortgage, then your equity, which is about the amount that you truly own, is about $200,000. So that's kind of what it means. It's the difference between the value of your home and what your outstanding mortgage balance is. Because remember, that's what you want. You want equity in your home. You want it to be worth more than what it is that you owe on the home. So equity, there's our word of the day. All right, we're going to go to babies because I got baby pictures. Okay, I threw these pictures in this morning, and I'm sorry, Easton's is a little out of focus, but that's my fault. But there's a little picture of Elsie over there to the left. I don't know what it is about this picture, but I am so drawn to this photo. She looks a little sad in the picture, but it looks like it's an old vintage photo. It's the lighting, it's her curls, it's her expression. There's just something about it that reminds me, I don't know, there's something that really resonates with that picture. I absolutely love it. Anyway, so there's Miss Elsie on the left with those curls for your nerves. I love them. And then Mr. Easton, it's possible Easton took that picture of himself. I can't remember, but he's been grabbing the phone and figuring out how to take pictures of everything and video and stuff. So at any rate, Easton's not really out of focus. He's a very crisp, smart little boy. Anyway, absolutely adorable. All right, let's do cup. Okay, so told you these books, because there's a lot of traveling going on, a lot of back and forth. So this coming Saturday, this coming weekend, actually at JMU in Harrisonburg, is going to be JMU's Parents Weekend. So Dawson wants me to come. Be still my heart. He wants me to come, so I am coming. Mama's coming, baby. So I'm going to come visit him. Now, these are photos of what JMU, their campus, looks like in the fall. That's not what it looks like right now, but when I come back next week, I'm going to show you some actual pictures of what the campus looks like. Hopefully, if I have time to get out and about and walk around and take some pictures. But that is what I grew up with, guys. That is what I'm talking about. When we say fall, it's those glorious colors, those oranges, those reds, those yellows. It's just absolutely stunning. And there in Harrisonburg, Virginia, JMU has an absolutely gorgeous a viewpoint of all of it. The rolling hills in the background, the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's just really beautiful. So that's what I'm excited. So I'm gonna be go see Dawson. I have a little goodie bag all ready for him, and he wants me to see the house that he lives in, the frat house. So yeah, I'm very happy to go see him. Haven't seen him in a while, so I'm super excited. So that's where I'll be next Saturday. So I'll have pictures next Monday of that trip. Seriously, I'll probably have finished my book by then. Real quick, moving on one more. Critters. Okay, so I saw this at my mom's out by her screened-in porch. This praying mantis in the leaves. That's leaves and pine straw, because we call it pine straw. Some people call it pine needles, but pine straw is what we call it when you're from Virginia. Anyway, but this, I wondered what it was. It was like I kept seeing something move, and it kind of had blended in, and it looked at me, and it kind of got in its little, attack position. But I snapped a picture for you guys because I just wanted to show you that. It's big too. Those are big. It was like 6-7 inches long. It was giant. Anyway, anybody? Pam missed the fall in New Hampshire, I'm sure. And then Kim, that's one of the things I miss the most, fall in Connecticut. Oh, I could just imagine. Like seriously, like literally that just and fall here. I know. I mean, I would love to go see some of the other places where it's even more brilliant and vibrant. So that's why this week's coffee time is all about snuggling up and cozying up, and let's find some movies with some pretty foliage in the background. Melody, I remember when my son went to U of L and he wanted me to come see him. Now we live here. Oh, he met a girl and married her. That's so sweet. Yay. Excellent. Oh, you guys are all the best. All right. I think I got everything on this one, guys. I think I did. So with that, yep. I'm looking at all my little, oh, no, weather. Oh. Going to grab my book, and I'm going to make some coffee, and I'm going to read, and then I'm going to watch Harry Met Sally because it's all fall and cool and sweater weather. And then I'm going to just find some time and just immerse myself in all the smells, like the candles going, and the sounds. And you know what? I'll just put the AC on and I'll crank it. That's what I'll do. Anyway, happy fall, y'all. So that's where we are today. I hope you guys had a good coffee time. I know that there was a little less real estate today, but you know what? I don't care because I was really excited and looking forward to today to just, I don't know what it is. I think the visit with my mom and my family, and I just was like, I just want to snuggle in with everybody and let's just kind of have some fun and talk some real estate, but let's also just talk some life stuff and some fun stuff because sometimes real estate's not fun, And anyway, but you are, and I'm out of time. So let's move ourselves on, guys. So as always, remember, if you have any questions, if you are looking to sell your house, or if you're looking to buy a house, or if you just got some questions, give me a call, 407-848-8042. That's always the easiest way is to call or text me. Then we can set up a time to chat more at length if you happen to catch me when I'm with another client. And then other than that, guys, as always, Thank you for joining me. Thanks for having our comfy, cozy, snuggly Monday morning with our coffee. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, I love you. I love you a little bit more today for some reason. I'm just feeling it in my heart. So love and hugs to everybody. I will see you soon. I'll see you guys next week. So with that, go have some coffee and go enjoy fall.